Always good to hook up with TD, Thomas Dimitroff, the legendary general manager from the NFL and the Falcons, and he now runs Sumer Sports. And he's in New York City getting ready for the NFL draft tonight. And Sumer has put out quite an extensive glance at all of these players and their stats and their ratings and everything else. It's just fantastic. I've actually been going through your 25 rookie draft guide. I think it's fantastic. I want to first start with so we were just talking about the fact, good to see you, TD, as always. I remember, let's just first say you and I went out and partied in Manhattan right there at Sirius XM. I think we went to City Lobster, you and Dougie Fresh, Big Daddy and I, and we were eating lobsters and going across the street to do the show at Howard Stern. So it's good to see you back in that building. But let me ask you first. We were talking about these quarterbacks, and the number was 2.5 for the first round. Whether there would be 2 or 3 quarterbacks drafted in this first round. We know Ward is going 1, and the word is that Dart is obviously going to get drafted in that first round. So it comes down to, will the Steelers, like we've been hearing for days, that they're taking him at 21, and do you believe that? And also, do you have a problem, like as a GM, who's someone I respect? I said earlier on the show, I'm sick of listening to blowhards and know-it-alls and sports talk guys and TV guys and overpaid guys that think they know stuff and that don't know Shaq give me advice about football players. I want to hear it from you. How in God's name are they going to draft a kid 9 that has no arm in the first round of the NFL, the National Football League? You're kidding me, right? That they're going to draft some kid with no arm in the 9th pick and give him hundreds of millions of dollars? I'm going to have a stroke over here.
No, I can't imagine it happening. But you started talking about Pittsburgh, and you started talking about Pittsburgh picking. You're talking about Shedeur there, right? You're not talking about Dart there, are you?
I'm talking about Dart earlier. There's talk of him going to the Saints. And then there's talk of this kid Sanders, and he doesn't have an arm either.
It's all amazing to see that this quarterback draft, as we talked at the Super Bowl a little bit about it, it drops way off. Who is the second, or who is the third, quite honestly? I do believe Shedeur is the second, Scotty. I really do. Wherever that is, there's a quarterback tax out there, and I know that bothers all of us, right? How far do you go up? I just feel like people are going to be trying to move into the back end of that first round a little bit, even with the uncertainties of this quarterback group. I just feel like in my bones that that's what's going to happen. But the Pittsburgh situation, if there's one coach out there that I think can really embrace Shedeur Sanders and co, I believe it's your team. I know you don't want to hear that.
I mean, so you think Tomlin is the guy to bring this kid back down to earth, because there's been all this negativity about him and his cockiness and he's this showboating and all this other stuff, and that he's not a good quarterback. In the last few days, this kid has taken a beating. Do you think that's fair?
I mean, look, he has positives and he has his challenges, like every quarterback does, right? When you're talking about a guy, remember this. When we drafted Julio Jones, this is way back, getting retro on you here, but when we drafted Julio Jones, one of the deciding factors was when Nick Saban told me, Thomas, he is unaffected. There is a positive side to Shedeur Sanders where he is unaffected. He's not like run roughshod by the pomp and circumstance of everything, which I think is a positive, along with the fact that he has good accuracy, Scotty. He's not the most mobile guy. Of course, there are things they're going to have to work on. They got to put the right people around him to help him thrive. I'm a big believer, and I've told you this before. I like playing a quarterback out the gate. I don't, and I know they acquired, and I understand, what they acquired there, and they have a free agent there to be working with for the time being when they get a young quarterback to grow there. But I think you need to play a quarterback early. You need to surround him with the right people and grow with the darn guy.
So did you like the stress of this night, of this round, of the entirety of the weekend? And when you're the GM of a franchise and it's on your head and your and your opinions and knowledge and advice and choices, and everyone in that room, the franchise has several people involved in it. You got your brass, your front office, your power brokers, your scouts. What was the stress like on your side? These kids wait around to get selected, and they know that every time someone gets picked before them, they lose money, but they're still all going to be rich. What was it like on your side, the stress of it?
Oh, the stress is unbelievable. The stress is not only unbelievable to pick the right player, it's to make
Right.
sure that the pick is going through. I got a call minutes before we drafted Matt Ryan, basically saying to me by a close agent friend of mine, another agent, not Dougie Fresh, who said, there's a lot of rumors that Ozzie Newsome is moving up with the Baltimore Ravens. He's going to take Matt Ryan. I'm a neophyte general manager. Mike Smith comes in, Scotty, he's like, Thomas, hold your water. Took a deep breath. We didn't move up to the first pick to Miami. We stayed there and we were able to get the guy. So there's a lot of information flying around and stress is flying around on it all. You just don't know all of the leading up into these picks because you sit down and you're talking to your owner a lot about the scenarios of what you want to do. And you want to come across like
Right.
you got a firm grasp and understanding of everything. And you really don't. You're kind of being wagged by it's a wild ride is what it is. It's a wild
So,
ride.
do you think that, like, you look fantastic as always, thick head of hair. Do you think that if you were still a GM in the NFL, that you would be bald by now after all of the people attack you and blame you for every decision that's made that they don't like? Like, so when you get a player that isn't a dead hit and they blame you for everything, when you're the GM, you get blamed for the weather. Do you think you'd be bald by now? Because you look fantastic for a guy that used to be under that kind of stress.
Well, look, all that's it's so funny you say that. I don't know if I'd be bald. I might be. My hair would be grayer than it is, and it's already obviously very, very gray. Look, I love the job. I miss the hell out of building football teams. You know that. We talked about it. It's such an exciting thing to put your world together and put together a great football team. I miss the heck out of that for sure.
So there are so many guys that I want to get your opinion of now that are going to be flying tonight high when they get selected. And, I always like to, frankly, go in the trenches. I think that there's so much that's built in the NFL, on the lines on both sides of the ball. What do you think of some of these guys? Like, let's start with Kelvin Banks. I mean, that guy is a monster and he's 6'5, 315, only going to get stronger and bigger. Can you imagine 21 years old, the size of this kid out of Texas? I love these guys on the lines, as I've mentioned. What do you think of him to start?
Obviously, a top-notch size guy, top-notch athlete guy from a very good program. We know that. I mean, as you know, Sark was with us at Atlanta back in the day, so I have a really good feel for the kind of players that he's bringing up and doing, along the way and what he does with them to get them ready. That guy's going to be a difference maker. He's going to be a pillar player along the offensive line for whoever does jump up. Who do you think that's going to be? I'm not necessarily sure. I don't know the line on it right now. Is it out there?
I don't. There's so many lines. I'm losing weight. I can't keep track of them. How about the kid out of Ohio State? He had knee surgery, but he's a monster. This Josh Simmons kid. He's another one at the same kind of size, 6'5", 317. I got 30 seconds. We got another segment coming up. What do you think of that kid? Anyone out of Ohio State to me is ready for the NFL.
He's ready for the NFL and the versatility again on all these O linemen. Remember, if you have versatility to you to be able to play and to be able to move to different position, i.e., tackle to guard, that is a big play on this guy. Another big man, as you know, obviously, who's going to be a difference maker.